Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to pin your fabric. I'm going to be showing you two different techniques. Well, really three techniques, but not really. The two techniques I'm going to show you, of course, they're going to be with pins. And then the last technique that I'm going to show you is when you're pinning objects down, like a pocket on your fabric or garment. I'll show you how to pin those down a little bit easier with your pins, without your pins getting in the way. So keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to start out with some fabric. That's all you need for learning this, section of my sewing for beginners. So all you're going to need is some fabric, doesn't matter what color. And then, of course, you're going to need some pins. The first thing that you're going to want to do is take your pin out. And this is going to be the best technique that I think you should use when pinning your fabric. You're basically just sticking the needle into your fabric, going through this basically sideways, and you're pinning your fabric basically sideways. So the ball of your needle should be sticking in toward the inside of your fabric, and the pointy end should be going out toward the outside of your fabric, basically toward the hem of your fabric. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish pinning this so that way you could see what it looks like once it's all done. And you want to make sure that you are spacing your needles, a good lengths away, and pretty much, the same. Making sure they're even all the way down the line, because if they're not even, then you're going to get your sewing is going to be crooked because your pins are not even. Okay, so this is basically the easiest way that I believe that you can pin your fabric, and it's the most, it's going to keep your fabric in place better than the other one that I'm going to show you. Of course, stick your fabric inside. The sewing machine is not on, but you're going to basically, of course, just stick your fabric inside, and you're going to go basically down the center of your needles, okay? And then you're just going to basically take them out one by one. You see how easy that is when you're sewing? You just take them out as you're sewing. Take them out from the side. You're not getting in the way of the fabric. You're just simply taking them out through the side, like that. Okay? And that's it for that first technique. Alright, so for the second technique, I'm going to show you this technique I do not use. I actually use this second technique that I'm showing you right now when I first started sewing. But now that I have showed you my first technique, that's pretty much the one that I stick with. Anyways, this second technique is basically the top of your pin, the pointy end of your pin is going to be sticking out away from you. Okay, and the ball of the pin will stick basically toward you. And don't get me wrong, you will definitely use probably both of these techniques for different sewing projects. So that is not straight, possibly because my fabric is not straight. Okay. So remember, the pins are sticking away from you. Okay? Alright, and so then the next thing that you want to do is you're going to, of course, sew your fabric. So now you're just gonna, when you're done pinning your fabric, you're sticking your fabric, of course, into your machine. And with this, you actually are going to, the way it's pinned, you're actually going to go on the outside of the fabric. So the foot should be placed on the left side of your pin, closer to the hem. Not like your other pins. You're sewing basically in the middle of them. You're actually going to be sewing on the outside of the pin. And so, of course, again, I'm not going to actually sew this, but of course you're going to be sewing, And here's the option where you can leave in your pins as you're sewing because the foot is not getting in the way. But sometimes they can, depending if you did not pin your fabric right or straight. But anyways, if you want to leave them in, you can of course just go ahead and leave them in, or you can take them out from the bottom as you're sewing, just like that. And you see how that one would get in the way? We will basically, of course, take that one out from the bottom. That's pretty simple for the second technique. The next thing that we're gonna use is tape, and we're gonna be pretending like we are going to sew on a pocket on our fabric. Again, I'm going to use this fabric as an example. Alright, so say this is a pocket. I'm basically, I wouldn't say this is like a pinning technique, but I guess it would be a technique if you were trying to pin down objects on top of your fabric and you're not wanting to use pins, or maybe pins are getting in the way, or this is just a better way, a simpler way to pin your fabric down. So I'm basically just taking some tape and so my fabric stays into place. I'm pinning it like that, taping it like that. And so say this was a pocket, I'm only going to do 3 sides. And then you would just sew around. Of course, you would sew on the edges of the pocket, and then whenever you're done sewing, the tape just literally, like, it'll of course most likely split in half, but your fabric will be of course pinned together or sewn together, and without any problems of your pins, or you know, your pins coming off and then your fabric moving while you're trying to sew. This is going to help you keep your pockets down or anything else you're trying to sew on top of your fabric. Alright you guys, well that was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned how to pin your fabric. And hello to all my newer subscribers. Again, thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you. And of course, if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and that will let you know once I have uploaded my next video. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.